a different character, different personality to Barrera. Barrera's very quiet, reticent sort of a guy. Kelly was always very cocky.
He's got something to live up to tonight, Marco Antonio Barrera. The Mexican featherweight heroes, Saldivar Olivares, Salvador Sanchez, who was taken too early, and Eric Morales, who he knows so well, of course. It wasn't his night against Morales, but he has to make it his night against Naseem Hamed if he is to close on his dream of being a Mexican legend in his own right. This is the chance he's craved to ruin Naseem Hamed's reputation. He looks like he's ready, and let's rejoin Glenn and Ian now.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul, and after the interminable delay, we are about ready to go here. I remember, mind you, delays in the past like Evander Holyfield, Glenn, forgetting his boots. They had to go back to the hotel to get him before the first fight with Riddick Bowe.
Also Chris Eubank, he always stick back. He didn't want to get in there very early. It is a thing that fighters try and do. They try and unsettle their opponent by doing that. Any little advantage they can get. The same with the gloves, and Naz is a master at that. That's what he's trying to do, just unsettle Barrera any way he can.
I don't think he'll do that, though. Barrera's had too many fights. This is number 57. Remember, too, when Mike Tyson punched a hole in the dressing room wall before the Spinks fight, he got so fed up being kept waiting by the TV companies.
Well, Mike Tyson punched holes in lots of walls in dressing rooms. I think that's just his way of preparing. He just got very, very aggressive and psyched himself up. But fighters are always different how they can do that. Some are just very relaxed, some are very psyched up.
Well, the atmosphere in the arena, I mean, all this delay has done has just built up the whole mood of expectancy. Everybody just waiting to see when Barrera will make his appearance. He'll be first into the ring. But Barrera's seen too much in the business, I think. I mean, the only thing that's going to matter is when the first bell goes, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Barrera, after 56 fights, he's been in some tremendous fights before. The Eric Morales fight, Kennedy McKenney fight. He's a man who just wants to fight. He is a true warrior of this business.
They've been waiting for some time. Marco Antonio Barrera, same age as Hamed at 27. Hamed is just a month younger. He's had 18 world title fights. Hamed has had 16, but his 18 have been at super bantamweight, and not even the greatest super bantamweight ever, Wilfredo Gomez, could make the move up. He got beaten by Salvador Sanchez, and now look at this. They've taken off another of Hamed's gloves. Now, he just wants everything to be completely perfect. I suppose he has that right, unless he's mucking everybody around.
To be honest, I think he's mucking everybody around. I think all the way through this, he said, they're too tight, take them off, do this again, take the glove off, take the hand wrap off. He's done this all the time. I think he just wants to be in control. He wants to mess it all up. This is the way he does things, Hamed. He wants to be the boss out there right from the very start. This is his show, and he's going to start when he wants to. Any other fighter, they would probably have hurried them up, got them in, but not Hamed. He just wants to control it all.
Yes, he's the marquee fighter here. He's the one on, a reported $6 million, while Barrera's on $1.5 million. And when I tell you that Barrera got $200,000 for his epic with Eric Morales, you'll understand the kind of economy at work.
That's right. This is his show. He's the star of it. He's going to do it when he wants, and that's the way he's always been.
There's one or two people at ringside looking at these pictures that you're looking at home and shaking their heads and saying that Hamed has now rather milked this.
Yeah, well, I think he certainly has milked it an awful lot, but that's what he's going to do. If he thinks he can get any sort of mental advantage, just upset Barrera a little bit, then it's something he's going to try.
Or is he just feeling a little bit tense himself? Well, only a question, Glenn.
It could be. You never know what's in a fighter's mind. This is the moment you're going to go out. This is the big time. This is when you're going to feel it all.
They can see what's happening inside the arena. Everybody's looking up at that big screen, which is in the area where Hamed will make his ring entrance if he ever does here. Barrera's been kept waiting. He told me earlier this week, when we had that little sushi supper with the Barrera camp, that he'd simply sleep while Hamed made his ring entrance.
To be honest, I think Barrera has expected this from the start. He's a very cool, very intelligent man. He knows that there's going to be some game. He's watched Hamed's career. You know, I remember when he come in with the shorts, Nas, you're next. You know, he's watching, he's known that they are going to fight eventually. And, you know, he's prepared for everything.
Coming up, we've got an interview, I think, with Emmanuel Steward, co-trainer of Hamed. What's going on? He can tell us.
Why is it taking so long?
Well, Naz has been having a problem with all of the right-hand gloves today because the thumbs are very straight, and he can't make the tight grip that he wants. So after putting this glove on and getting everything taped up, he still didn't feel comfortable, so he wants to take it off altogether.
Is this part of the problem of originally he wanted to wear green gloves, Barrera wanted to wear the yellow gloves? The commission came in and said, we're going to scrap both the green and yellow. Both fighters are going to be red. Now, those gloves came in this afternoon, correct?
Well, these gloves are the commissioner's glove. The other gloves was brought in by other people. But the biggest problem was simply that these guys are so nervous about everything today. I haven't been in a fight that had so many small details become big details.
Okay, go to work, sir. All right, Jim, let's send it back to you ringside.
Well, now you know. He's being the perfectionist. That's okay, as long as he gives a perfectionist performance. Sometimes over here in America, the talk before the fight has been a bit better than the action. He's had a couple of scares with Kelly and with Sanchez, and laboured wins over Soto and McCullough.
He has looked vulnerable at times, especially when he's been to America. At times he's looked nervous. Against Soto, you know, he looked scared of the power of Soto, of the strength. You know, how's he feeling now? This is the reality that he's going in with one of the great fighters. He's going in with Barrera.
Just referring back to that gloves controversy, Barrera, when the gloves were on the table earlier, grabbed the first pair of gloves offered. Hamed wanted them, and this is what he had to say.
Be good to you. That's what's happened from the start. You fight in these, and I'll fight in these.
We select first, and this is the Barrera glove, the number 1, and this is the number 2.
No, once these are gloves in front of the commission, then they can't select first.
Let me say this. If we're going to use the yellow gloves for everybody, and that's what we're going to do, then we said they would get first pick.
Let me tell you one thing now. Why we use yellow gloves?
It seems, and I don't believe this, like they were arguing about the colour, because they're both Ray's puncher's gloves.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think, again, just a psychological little edge he was doing. But he's ready now. It's just the final preparation. He just wants to feel that the gloves are comfortable, that everything's ready, and hopefully it should not be long now.
And he's spun all this out for about half an hour, hasn't he, now? You see, the only thing that worries me is I've never seen him do anything like this before.
Well, the realization, you know, this is a big fight. I think he's respected Barrera all the time. He knows the size of fight he's in now. You know, everybody said this is the defining fight. This is, you know, his greatest chance. This is the fight that will make him or break him. And I think he realizes that.
And Barrera is still kept waiting. Will he be just starting to get a bit irritated by that? Because a fighter, I mean, you know this, Glenn, you get ready, you're ready to go out, and then they keep on saying, no, not ready, not ready, not ready yet.
Little things do irritate you, they do give you problems, they do just set your mind at, you know, at ill ease. But Barrera has seen it all. You know, he's come up in the tough streets of Mexico. You know, he'll have seen everything out there.
18 fights in 2 World Championship reigns in super bantamweight. That is the weight down from featherweight. How does he cope moving up just 4 pounds? I mean, the camp made us laugh the other day. So, well, it's just a cheeseburger, but it's much more than that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. When you've campaigned at that division all the time, it is a big jump, especially when you're going in with a puncher like Hamed.
Backstage, the Nevada commissioner, Mark Ratner, is having plenty to say. Maybe in a moment or two we'll get a word with him too. I think this just might make Barrera even more determined to give his usual mean performance. So Mark Ratner, let's have a word with the Nevada commissioner. I think they're just lining up that interview now, and maybe we'll hear from Mark Ratner in just a second or so. I wonder if he's going to take any action against Hamed over all of this. Certainly the American TV people are not exactly happy by it, but kind of anything goes in boxing.
We're with Mark Ratner, the executive director of the Nevada Athletic State Commission. What is taking place?
The right-hand glove of Hamed's had a problem with the thumb, so we had to take it off. We had to re-tape his thumb. They put the glove back on. He wanted 2 more minutes to warm up, which he's into right now. He's supposed to put his gear on to come out, and we're that close. Barrera is completely ready. Both camps are on edge now, and we know we want to get him out, and I'm pushing it as hard as I can.
Earlier, a second ago, you mentioned that the fact that the tape on Hamed's glove covered all of his laces. Is that a problem?
The question was the tape all the way to the very top? It's not, but it covers all the laces, so you cannot stick your palm into somebody's face with the laces. So that cannot be done. He is completely taped to where it needs to be.
How close are we to seeing these two fighters inside the ring?
I think we're pretty close. I think they've had their prayer, they've had all their traditional stuff, and I believe that they're almost ready to come out now.
All right, Mark Ratner, we appreciate you joining us. Jim,
what is it they used to say on the football results? Barrera v. Hamed, late kickoff.
Well, I think in boxing we've learned to expect everything, haven't we? You never know what's going to happen. There's always drama, and especially when you get a fight this big, egos come into it, nerves come into it, everything does.
He's got a painting at home, Barrera, which somebody's giving to him, of him knocking out Hamed. Now, Dickie Davis, I think, has got promoter Barry Hearn with him. Dickie.
Barry, what do you make of all this?
Well, you know, I think Naz is playing a few mind games with Barrera out there. Barrera's been waiting in the corridor for 10 minutes and Naz is still warming up. Hey, if we can get away with it, and it looks like he is. If it had been the other way around, I'd have had Naseem back in the dressing room and said, you call me when you're ready. But I think Barrera's waiting. Any second now, they're going to be coming into the auditorium, obviously. But the same as with the gloves and all the conflict over that. Second win for Naz, but you still got to do it inside the ring.
Not a sign of nerves from Naz, do you think?
Not in the slightest. He's got ice water running through his veins. He's having some fun. I think he's just having a little bit of a chuckle in the dressing room, really, but time to come out now.
He's got the passions going in here because the Mexicans and the English fans are going wild.
Well, you know, Naz is, he doesn't care. I mean, he's here to win. The fans are here to watch a great fight. He's leaving the dressing room now. So, you know, he's coming, like he said, he's the man, he's coming in his own time. You've got to admire the man's cheek, really. I mean, he just rewrites all the rules. Barrera doesn't know what's going on. He's been in the corridor now for 10 minutes. Really, I mean, his handlers should have just taken a grip of the situation and played a bit of poker with us. But, well, you know, they've still got to fight. But Naz is making no big rush. He's back on the pads again. He's a boy, isn't he? He is a boy.
Let's hope he comes out soon. Thank you very much.
He's got to. Yeah, he will do, I'm sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, have we got to admire his cheek, Glenn?
Well, we've got to admire the fact that, you know, he's doing it, he's getting away with it. Really what it needed was somebody stronger to make a decision, you know, to start saying, listen, you get out there or we're going to start penalising you.
I've got to come in here and say this is now plain ridiculous.
Yes,
somebody,
it is,
and it's the Nevada Commission, should say that is quite enough. Get out there.
They should not, you know, allow a fight. He's going to now have a very, you know, big ring entrance, and Barrera's going to have to wait again. It's not fair. It's not really fair.
Is Barrera worried? Well, judge for yourself.
Doesn't look it.
I think he's been around long enough to know this kind of thing goes on. But this has got to be one of the biggest slices of psychological or attempted psychological warfare we've seen in recent years.
They're all laughing there. This might give Barrera a psychological edge because he might start thinking that Hamed is scared to come out. Remember, he's dealing with a Mexican. It's all about macho. It's all about bravado. And this is a little bit like Hamed is scared to come out of the dressing room. So you look, they're getting a big psychological edge. This could all be backfiring on Hamed.
It could be. The mood has slightly changed about all of this. I mean, Barry Hearn was saying, we've scored a big point over them. But have they? I'll tell you what, only one thing matters. Nobody's going to remember all this stuff after the fight. They'll remember what happens in the ring. That is the only war to be won.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how long it takes. People are getting impatient. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they're both going to have to come face to face. The bell's going to ring, and they've got to get it on.
But this fellow Barrera is not going to be psyched out in the manner of so many Mike Tyson opponents. I mean, people saw him across the ring and thought, thunderous puncher, monster, can't do it. I don't think this guy is.
Most definitely not, Yoy. He's so ready. He's so much a professional, so experienced. You know, he'll be 100% ready. He's prepared for it. And you know, psychologically, it doesn't look like it's hurting him.
Barrera, the middle-class Mexican boy who was trained to be a lawyer, but preferred to appear before the boxing judges. He'll come forward because that's the only way he knows how to fight, but don't get the impression that this is just some limited brawler. He's cute with it, he knows moves, he's a technician. That's why he's been so successful in the business, and he's very, very cool as well. Seen it all, done it all, and about at his peak, I would say.
I would say so. He's so smart, so intelligent, he does everything so good. I mean, I have been a fan of him for a long time because he is, to me, a very perfect fighter. He does everything very well.
We've heard what Glenn McCrory and I think of all this shenanigans. Let's get a view from Wayne McCulloch, Las Vegas-based Irishman who was a world champion and fought Hamed. What do you think? Who's winning this psychological battle?
Well, I just thought that Hamed was losing a bit of battle there, a bit of heart, so maybe it's a psychological thing for Barrera. He's ready for it, he's solid, he's ready to get in there and do some business, where Hamed's taking his time and he's not rushing anything, but I think Barrera's winning the fight here.
Forewarned is forearmed, I guess. I think they knew there'd be a lot of mucking about, and I think he knows the fight itself is still probably 10 minutes, quarter of an hour away, because we've still got the Hamed ring entrance to come yet.
It's going to be a long way here. Hamed's took over a half an hour to get his gloves fixed, then he took it back off again, so it's going to be a long time before he gets in the ring after his entrance.
I suppose the question has to be put, is Hamed having second thoughts about all this?
He better not be having second thoughts, because, you know, it's a big build-up. People want to see a great fight, and they're expecting Hamed to do the damage.
We shall see. Thanks, Wayne, for the moment. Wayne McCulloch will be joining us with his comments throughout the fight for however long it lasts. There's Oscar Maldonado, the fellow, just as you look at it, on the right of Barrera, the co-supervisor of the camp. This man starred in one of the great fights in boxing history, certainly one of the great ones of the whole of the modern era. Here comes Barrera now, the much-delayed ring entrance. Marco Antonio Barrera crosses himself as he gets in the ring and gets a huge reception from the Mexican contingent here. But that Mexican contingent, I have to tell you, at a guess, is outnumbered by the Brits around here. He's held on to that junior featherweight championship. It says former there, told me that he's keeping the 122-pound WBO title.
Well, in a sense, why throw that away? Well, just hedge your bets. But look at how many people the Hameds have got in the ring. You know, they've got so many people in the ring. Again, is this another psychological thing, putting so many of his camp in the ring?
It is absolute mayhem. There's Naz's dad, Sal, who's a pretty cool character. He was sitting behind me on the plane coming over. Said, do you get nervous about it? You must die 1,000 deaths watching your boy. I said, no, it's okay.
Well, he knows his boy's pretty good, doesn't he?
Naz has bought his mum and dad a house in the Yemen. Now here comes Hamed at long last with a very Las Vegas-style ring entrance for his Vegas debut. We were told the ring entrances were all over at the Bungu fight last year, but I think by public demand, certainly here in the States, they wanted him to do one.
Certainly here in Las Vegas.
Allahu Akbar kabira walhamdulillahi kathira.
Well, there's a strong Muslim theme as well in the opening stages of this.
وصلى الله على محمد وآله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
Well, it's a town that absolutely is made for his brand of showmanship.
Yeah, the surprising thing is he's never been here before. This is the first time. But then this is the big one for him.
I like George Foreman's line. He said he's going to put the showgirls out of business.
I don't think so.
It's incredible to think how far he's come. He's now going to get onto that sort of hoop thing there, which is like a swing, and be lowered from up on that elevated platform down right to the floor. That's the plan anyway. He came here this afternoon and rehearsed the whole thing as he always does. I think it's just his way of getting ready. Barrera's not sleeping, he's very much awake.
There's Johnny Tapia getting in the ring, giving Barrera the best.
The other of the star boxers over here, Tapia. Somewhere along the line, they plan to have some flying images of Elvis Presley was lost. I don't think Hamed liked that idea much.
Maybe not.
He probably said, who's Elvis Presley?
Maybe.
But he's the king of cool, isn't he, for Generation X?
Very much. So this is what they want to see.
Well, it works for him. It's made him a star. Dad's enjoying it too. The thing is, when he gets down to the floor and he gets in the ring, more often than not, he does give the fans what they want. He's one of the biggest punchers in featherweight history. There's no doubt about it.
That's what's made it so good. Everything he brings to the ring, all the showbiz, all the extravagance, he then backs it all up in the ring, and that's what's made him a great fighter.
This is the litmus test, the chance to prove he is one of the modern greats, and he'll earn that acclaim if he can overcome a fighter as good as Barrera. Somebody appeared there, I thought, to throw some beer at him.
Yeah, somewhere on the way down he didn't like something. You could just see him complain.
Here comes the flying ring leap. And for the first time in boxing's capital. Still not happy with those gloves and abandons it. Well, he's full of surprises tonight.
Isn't he just? He's changing everything, isn't it? Just wonder what's in his head.
Yeah, you'd love to know. Check on his record. 35 straight wins, and only 4 men have lasted the distance with him, and only 2 in World Championship fights. He's had 16 of those, and only 3 featherweights in history have had more world title fights. George Dixon, Abe Antel, and Eusebio Pedrosa, the man who was dethroned by Barry McGuigan so memorably in 1985.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand Hotel Casino, the city of entertainment here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Prince Promotions, along with Let's Get It On Promotions and the MGM Grand are proud to present the 2 best featherweights in the world. It's 12 rounds of boxing for the Featherweight Championship of the world. Approved by the International Boxing Organization and sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem, Vice Chairman Dr. Luther Mack, Commissioners Amy Ayub, Glenn Carano, and Dr. Flip Homansky. The scoring for this bout will be done on the 10-point system per round, and the 3 judges assigned to ringside are Dwayne Horde, Chuck Jampa, and Patricia Jorman Manning. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action inside the ring, working for the 140th time as a referee in a title fight, Joe Cortez. And now, for the standing room only crowd in attendance here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue, trimmed with silver. He weighed in at 125 1/2 pounds. In his professional boxing career, he has been victorious 52 times, and 38 of those victories have ended by knockout. Only 3 times in 55 bouts has he been defeated. This 2-time champion comes here tonight, ready and determined to show all that he is not only the best featherweight in the world, but among the best fighters in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2-time world champion, Damas y Caballeros de Ciudad de Mexico, the baby-faced assassin, Marco Antonio Barrera. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the leopard with Adidas trim and weighing 126 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one, consisting of 35 bouts, 35 victories, including 31 knockouts. And he is rated by most experts as, pound for pound, the most devastating puncher in boxing today. He is a deeply religious man who tonight dedicates his effort to all Muslims and every believer around the world. And at this time, to honor his father and family heritage, he is requested to say a few words.
Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may translate, I bear witness there is only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. Peace and blessings be upon him. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, presenting the 3-time undefeated featherweight champion of the world, boxing's royalty, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Referee's final instructions coming up now from Joe Cortez. Handled Hamed against Bungu last year when Hamed was devastating. 1 in 4 rounds, one of his best recent performances.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight, no rough tactics. These trunks here are a little high. These trunks they're a little high also. Punches here are still good. Give me a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up. Okay.
I'm fair, but I'm firm. Catchphrase of Joe Cortez. And after all the shenanigans and psychological warfare of the last 45 minutes, at last, this fight is ready to go. Only 2 men of all those huge entourage will be left in the ring. Can Barrera take Hamed's power as he moves up in his first major fight at featherweight? How will this evolve? It's absolutely fascinating. A head-on collision of 2 modern boxing superstars. There's the left hand, didn't quite land flush. Will Barrera be able to exert the pressure that he's talked about all week? Hamed can be elusive, he's quick and hard to catch.
So many fighters just can't deal with the strange style that Hamed's got. It's very, very effective, but good fighters can't fathom it out. How can Barrera handle it?
It's a showdown too between conventional skills and the totally unpredictable mix of Hamed. He's hit by a left hook and hurt! Big shot, and he was all over the place, Hamed. First blood to Barrera. I thought he was going to go then for a second, Glenn.
It was a good shot. And Barrera is very, very sharp. But can Hamed now take the power of Barrera?
Well, he said in the build-up, I've got more knockouts than he's had fights. Well, this looks like trouble for Hamed. But he's at his most dangerous when he's hurt. We've seen that before. It looks different already. He has looked easier to hit in recent fights since trying to meddle with his original style.
Just taking his time, just trying to be smart. He's very cute, very knowledgeable, very technical.
Hamed trying to pick him off with jabs. He walked into one. That's the problem for Barrera. If he tries to close the range and get in the body shots, he could walk into a real megaton punch. They're both very respectful of what the other can do. Hamed gets there with a left hand. Barrera takes the shot. Shot to the body, that's his speciality. The left hook to the body, around the liver usually.
This is where Barrera is good, when he puts combinations together. Most fighters can only get Hamed with one. Can Barrera get him with 2 or 3?
Hamed is shaking his head at Barrera as if to say the punches don't hurt. Barrera's not going to worry. 3 more, he's all over the place again. He does look novice at times, and his technique let him down in that first round, which was very, very clearly Barrera's.
Very much so. And the psychological battle, as well as the battle inside the ring, is going Barrera's way.
Well, you see, I think all that stuff before the fight, that's a distraction. He should have just got on with it.
Of course he should. I mean, they were trying to psych Barrera out, the family were trying to psych him out, you know, all the making him wait. But Barrera, you know, you've got to realise that the people, the Mexican people, you know, it doesn't look right, you know, somebody waiting, and he's took it as a sign that Hamed's scared. He started very confidently, but very sensibly, taking his shots so well.
Look at that. We've seen this a lot, haven't we now, in different fights. Augie Sanchez, Kevin Kelly, a couple of other times. It's Steward who's been doing the talking in the corner, Emmanuel Steward. A terrible start for Hamed, a really terrible start. Second round. He's got to improve on that. He's got to buckle down to business. Trying to get Barrera on the back foot, and if he could do that, it would be very significant. Just flicking there, gave him a backhand. Can't do that. Boos from the crowd. At the moment, Hamed can't quite get his punches off. He's trying to spear him with that jab, but he's out of reach with it all the time. We don't have all the answers yet. 1 or 2 pro fighters, as Barrera just waves Hamed in, say that the cumulative effect of Hamed's strength and extra power might tell late on. That's one theory, only one theory.
Well, Hamed does have tremendous power, and if he can really catch Barrera cleanly, that could tell the difference. He's always got that chance. We've seen it time and time again.
There's a damage under the right eye, I think, developing for Hamed. I think there's a psychologically damaging point at some point in this fight as well, where Hamed will hit Barrera with his best shots, and if he gets no effect from that, what will be going on? What demons will be at play?
Well, that's right, but Hamed, you know, when he's been hit with shots before, when he's been on the floor, he's always getting up. The chin very high from Hamed. Barrera catching him with quite a few shots.
Look for the rocket launcher, Hamed, missed, and look at that. Oh! Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's World Wrestling Federation. Now Barrera tried to hit him then as they were both down. What's the ref going to do about this?
Well, Hamed grabbed his arm as he pulled him down. Hamed tried to wrestle with him. Barrera reacted.
Watch out for that rough tactics.
Joe Cortez, I think, has got a big job
Come
here.
Come here. I don't want any rough tactics. Look enough for that sucia, ¿entiendes? No quiero descualificar a nadie. I don't want to
Remember,
disqualify anyone,
Hamed
understand?
could have been disqualified
All right,
against
down
Cesar Soto for a body slam. He wasn't. Joe Cortez won't muck about. He'll be deducting points. It's already very eventful, Glenn.
It certainly is. Hamed looking for the big shots. Barrera still sharp enough to avoid them.
Just dabbing away occasionally at his right eye, Hamed. Cuts have very rarely been a problem. Great right hand. Barrera well picked. He will have that bit of extra speed of the natural super bantamweight. And he's done 15 days of weights to add muscle to go up to 9 stone.
But Barrera counter-punching so well, picking the shots off, coming back with not just 1 but 2s and 3s.
Hamed has what Rocky Marciano used to call the Susie Q, the equalizer, the big shot. He could turn it all around in an instant. Another Barrera round.
You got him fighting your type of fight. That's what you want now. You got him kept all this. That's what you want. But keep backing him up. You getting him confused. Keep backing him up, and the key shot when he starts that weak jab like that, bam, right through the center. Okay. Let him start the weak jab.
Verdict so far, Glenn?
Well, Hamed's still there, still looking for the big shot. Barrera, very cool, handling it well. He's not just going all out. He's very, very aware of the punch power of Hamed, and he's been careful, but the counter punching is very, very sharp.
See, the Hamed camp said before this fight, Barrera's one-dimensional, but he's much more clever than that, isn't he?
Oh, very much so. He's a smart guy in and outside the ring. This is the pull down. Just went off too soon. Hamed did just try to wrestle him on the ground there.
Round 3. What happens next here? It's a bad start by Hamed. He hasn't really got going at all yet. That's better. 3 jabs, and he's found the range. A reminder to Barrera. What he needs is one of those punches to have a shattering effect sometime soon, just to tilt the balance.
Another good long left hand from Barrera. Hamed going for the big punch there, really leaping in.
Hamed complaining that one of those was low. Different sort of fight than Barrera Morales, the classic, but we always knew it would be because of Hamed's peculiar style. Oh, another left hook from Barrera, rocked back, but stays upright.
Good body shot from Hamed there with the right hand. That's what he's got to try and use. Bring the hands down. Barrera with a high guard.
Starting to get the jab going, Hamed. The first real positive sign for him. And he's looking all the time too for those nice little right hooks. Certainly not gung-ho, is he, Barrera? He's not rushing in, he's very wary of getting countered.
Yes, he's very smart, he's very intelligent, he knows the power. He's not gonna just dive in unexpectedly because he knows Hamed can come back with something.
Just rather telegraph that long punch, Hamed. He's been trying to shorten punches up in training. That's what they've been working on. Good jab again. This is better. Barrera's got blood by his nose. He looks for that right hook. A better round this one, Glenn, for Hamed.
Yes, it is. He's been more aggressive. The jabs work very well on the big punches.
And the right hand from Barrera. He does look so open, and sometimes his balance is, well, rotten, Hamed. They've been trying to work on it, trying to make refinements.
Well, he does have, in his style, he has glaring mistakes, but what he does have is great power. He can hit fighters when they don't expect it.
and he has that way of prevailing no matter how much of a scare he's had along the way. Will it be the same tonight?
Yes, it's always seemed that he's had an unbreakable will. That's got him through so far.
Into the third round, Hamid's best yet. Let's get the views of Wayne McCulloch.
Well, Barrera started the first 2 rounds, he surprised everybody. He started boxing and going backwards. Hamid's going forward, which is unusual. He got it together in the third round. He had a good round there, but he lost the first 2. You know, Hamid needs to go out there and finish this job off.
There were some positive signs from there, though. The jab was starting to round home, wasn't it?
Yes, the jab was good. We saw that against Paul Ingle, we saw that against Jose Badillo. When he wants to use the jab, he can use it very well. And he's now Hamid's having to think of different things to do.
So many British boxers have come a cropper in Las Vegas. Of course, Alan Minter won famously here, as did Nigel Benn, Lennox Lewis, Johnny Nelson even. But people like Maurice Hope, Colin Jones, Barry McGuigan, Frank Bruno, Lloyd Hannigan, they've all failed.
Good little left hand in close there for Hamid in that exchange.
Round 4 coming up. Hamid has won his last 2 fights against Boyani Bungu and Augie Sanchez in this round. It's a favourite time for him to end the argument. No switch hitting from him so far.
No, I don't think he wants to try anything out of the ordinary, because I think he's aware of Barrera's counter punch. He can't make a mistake.
Fantastic right counter by Barrera to the body. But he mustn't get mesmerised in the way of some former Hamid opponents by Hamid's jab, which is swaying in front of him, almost like a cobra waiting to strike, but he's got him with another left hook. He rocked again, looked like he was going to go, but stayed upright. Oh dear, how soon before one of these really starts a huge crisis for Hamid?
Well, Hamid's chin is prevailing. He's having to take some pretty hard shots, and a few of them, but these are danger signs for Hamid.
That's happened about 3 times already, and we're only in round 4. I think it's just going to be the way of the world with Hamid. There's the Barrera body shot. Coolly just stalking his man, Barrera. That's a lovely right hook by Hamid.
But Barrera can't afford to get confident, can't afford to make a mistake on the attack.
I suppose one worry for Barrera is that he may only have power as a super bantamweight. 3 times he's had him going, but he hasn't been able to nail Hamid.
Well, an accumulative effect could work. You know, these punches have got to have an effect on Hamid as the fight goes on.
It's amazing to think that this Mexican could have grown up to be a lawyer, even studied for law. But he preferred boxing, and he's not bad at it either.
You'd want him in your side on the bench, wouldn't you, if you're in court? But especially with that look in his eyes.
The Hamid right hook. How soon before those kind of punches start to have some kind of effect on Barrera?
A lot of people talk about the defensive Barrera, getting hit with right hands and very open, but you know, it's pretty tight at the moment.
He's worked out a pretty good strategy, and he's making Hamid come to him, and he's counter-punching. It's a bit different than most people imagined.
This is better for Hamid, just trying to get the body shot and punches to the head working.
Again, Barrera's wide slung left hook. Well, he's striking a pose, but for me, he's behind.
Yeah, for me too. I got Barrera 2 points up. But Hamid's still there, still in front, still very, very dangerous. It just takes one mistake from Barrera.
See, when you're getting hit, it may not be that much, but your head is up, so it looks bad to the crowd. And he's catching you with one punch, the left hook. Every time you come in, he's catching you with the left hook. You're coming in from here, and you're getting caught. And it's making it...
So far, so good for Barrera. He said, didn't he, beforehand, he'd heard all the talk about Allah. Naseem Hamed, he said Allah will not be in the ring.
Well, you know, he's got his own ability, his own reason. There's the left hook again. Hamed walking into it a bit, getting caught with a good counter.
Two such contrasting characters. Hamed, who did his training based at Bing Crosby's old home in Palm Springs, California. Barrera in the Spartan snowy mountains. Now, Hamed needs a big round here, I think. He's got to start to impose himself. Otherwise, the situation is going to get serious on the scorecards for him.
Yes, he'll be beginning to think, you know, what's he got to do? How's he going to find the punch?
Bring up.
2 points ahead for Barrera on my card.
Barrera's defence has improved. Notice that when he fought Morales, taking more on the gloves, it did need addressing. He sometimes is a sucker for a right hand against conventional fighters. They almost tripped each other up there.
Well, that often happens. The feet clash when you've got a southpaw unorthodox fighter, and you know, sometimes the lead foot gets tangled.
There's that right hook again. Use the elbow as well, Hamed, roughing him up close in. He'll be the stronger man, I would think, of these two. The big featherweight against the super bantamweight coming up.
Yes, you'd think so. Inside, he is a very physically strong person, Hamed.
Just those single jabs from Hamed and single right hooks. Hasn't got combinations going, but we know he has them. Good hip movement from Barrera too. It's again that little left-hand counter with the jab. It's almost chess match stuff, this, isn't it?
He's doing well to beat Hamed to the jab. Very difficult to out jab a southpaw, especially an orthodox one like Hamed.
That's a good block by Hamed. Parried that punch, that left hook that time. He's a bit more wary about it. Emmanuel Steward told him about it between the rounds. He's acted on that. There it is again, though. Come on, come and have a fight with me, says Barrera. I'll be quite happy if you do that.
Well, this is the macho in the Mexican, but you know that could also lead to his undoing by getting carried away, getting overconfident, leaving his chin out.
It's a cute strategy by Barrera, isn't it?
Very cute. The counter punch is working well.
Well, you have to give this guy those rounds. What? You're not supposed to win his round. Listen. You let it.
Way behind on points. Okay. If this fight goes the way it's going right now, you lose your championship. You know, he's going to have to fight. You know, see, every time you get hit with a little light punch, your head is up, and therefore it looks much worse than it is. You understand? You keep trying the right hook, throw your straight left hand through the middle.
Well, I think they're telling him it like it is. He's behind.
Yeah, well, I think they've got to. It's no good trying to fool anybody in the corner. Hamed's a good enough fighter to know that as well. He knows it's tough in there. The right hand a little bit low from Barrera. Hamed coming back with a good left hook.
There wasn't a lot in that last round.
Wasn't a lot.
Let's go. Give me a clean round. Don't leave to the ball.
Hamed, will we look to see him switch it a bit here? Yeah, he's leading now with the left, trying to confuse Barrera. The corner have asked for punches through the middle, and not so many of the right hooks. Now you've got orthodox against orthodox.
But you'd think Barrera would be better against Hamed in the orthodox stance because he's used to orthodox fighters more.
There's a lovely right hand from Barrera. Beautifully picked punch, and Hamed can't quite get his home. It's a frustrating night so far, this so-called defining night for Hamed. He was arguing in the corner, wasn't he, between the rounds? Said that wasn't his round, that last one.
Yes.
What did you think?
I thought it wasn't. I thought it was Barrera's round. I thought he just clean the box and Hamed just not quite getting it together.
Let's get it even, that last one. Does Naseem Hamed know enough to deal with this top-class operator who's adapting his style very cutely here? Oh, another big left hook, but significantly, this time it bounces off Hamed's chin completely.
Yes, Hamed maybe warming to the power a bit, you know, just warming up, and when you do, you take the power better.
Well, if Hamed is the man with the superior power, as we all thought, you'd have to say it isn't showing yet. It might.
Of course it might, but he's just not getting the punches on that he wants. The sharper boxing, the better speed is from Barrera, and he's just kind of punching better. The power, you know, if Hamed gets a clean shot on, he can still end it.
Just not really able to get his punches off, Hamed. Certainly no combinations.
Back to southpaw now. Feels that's more comfortable to his style.
Well, that's a punch on the break there, really, from Barrera. It's a bit naughty. He just pulls the face, says, it's okay, as far as I'm concerned. Joe Cortez didn't seem that worried, did he?
No, he didn't. Another Barrera round. We're happy in the Barrera corner.
Hamed's in trouble on the scorecards. There's Lennox Lewis, who, by the way, is going to be making a ring entrance afterwards for the remake of the film Ocean's 11 with Vladimir Klitschko. That is absolutely bizarre, but let's not bother about that now. We've got other things on our mind.
We've got a very good fight on our minds. This is really, really good.
But you won't do this and come back with the left. Let the big shots go. Don't worry about boxing. Let your big shots go. You punch too hard. Once you connect solid, it's going to be over with. Yeah. But right now, you're basically trying to win the fight off of this one puncher. And he's catching you with punches. Sometimes it's not that much.
Some of these rounds are close, but I think Barrera nicked that last one for me.
Yeah, he did for me as well. But interesting to hear. Emmanuel Steward, he wants Hamed now to abandon the boxing. He wants him to go out. There's the exchange. Hamed, a little one on the break. Barrera's well after the break.
Hamed is in trouble on the scorecards here as we go into the second half of the fight. A lot of predictions are already out of the window here. Emmanuel Steward says, once you land properly, fight will be over. Is he whistling in the dark or under the lights as it should be here?
And Barrera pulling away 4 points ahead on my call.
That's a bit better for Hamed. That's what he needs to do. He's got to somehow get a volume of punches to land. Meanwhile comes news that our American colleague Harold Lederman has the fight level.
Well, he's maybe seen the rounds a bit closer than we are.
Are we heading for another of our little periodic controversies?
Emmanuel Steward wants Hamed to come out and start letting the big shots go. Will he do that this round, Hamed?
Oh, big left hand from Hamed. He smiles, he sneers, and Barrera says, so what? Effectively, waves him back in. That was a good shot by Hamed. He looked it anyway from our angle. And there's another one on the counter.
What Hamed needs to do is start getting combinations going, starting in this round to get the single shots on. Needs to start build up putting shots together, 2s and 3s.
This man is a master at rescuing seemingly lost causes. And I'm not suggesting this is a lost cause for him, far from it. It's all still up for grabs, but it's been Barrera's first half of the fight.
Starting to use the jab better, Hamed walking forward, but he can't walk under anything.
He's starting to bounce around on his feet quite confidently, Barrera.
Picking Hamed off with the jab there, Barrera. He's got good boxing skills as well, and Hamed showing his jab is a good one.
That's better, looks a bit looser, Hamed, suddenly. Leering through his gum shield at Barrera. They're starting to let these power shots go. Come on then, says Barrera, quite happy. I'll be looking for counters every time you try it. It's macho stuff, isn't it, from this class Mexican?
Oh, very much so. Very, very much so. There's nothing much in a fight will faze a Mexican like Barrera.
Good round this so far. More punches getting thrown and more landing.
Hamed doing better with the jab, but still the defenses are weak from him.
And he smiles as if relishing the battle. There's Alicia, Naseem's wife. By the way, Naseem means gentle breeze. He's been a bit more like a hurricane for most of his opponents, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But that was better, starting to move about, loosen up, use his jab more in that round, Hamed.
We need to throw the left hand, right? You hold it.
I've got it to Barrera by 2 points at the moment.
I've got Barrera by 3.
Right? We have to let it go. Okay. All right, but we're going to fight from your shoulders now, okay? Yeah. That's what I want.
Now Oscar Suarez is doing the talking.
Yes, they've been alternating round to round in that corner.
Rudy Perez is the trainer for Barrera.
And they're just walking onto a double jab from Barrera, but he had plenty of success in that round with his own jab.
Fascinatingly poised. Here's round 8. Hamed doesn't usually have to go this far. In fact, he's only boxed 8 rounds in the last 18 months before tonight, while Barrera had had 48 rounds of action. Could have been a bit of ring rust for Hamed, you know, early.
Well, that could be a problem, you know, being out a long time before you meet this caliber of opposition.
Damage underneath the right eye of Hamed's been there from early. It's no great worry. His reflexes starting to look better, Hamed, making Barrera miss a bit more. It's a cagey old game they're playing.
Yes, it is. Just waiting for somebody to make mistakes.
How are the judges seeing it? Wouldn't we like to know? Good left hook, Barrera. And Hamed right through the middle. Now that's what they were asking for. And again, I think that one hit the gloves. Then a body shot from Hamed. Watch the low ones, says Joe Cortez. He's starting to fight with a bit more devil, Hamed, here.
They're just maybe warming to the task more, getting his timing more, Hamed.
More accurate in this round than Barrera. Heads almost banging together there. He might even have done so, but no cut that I can see. Ah, lovely shot. Classic shot, right-handed. He had to hold on to the ropes. Hamed there. He was wobbled by that one, Glenn.
Yes, he was. He was definitely hurt. The legs, he just delayed effect, just staggered a bit.
But that's part of what makes Hamed exciting. They're like Tommy Hearns was, he's so vulnerable as well. Felix Trinidad's the same.
Yes, they can get hurt, but then they come back.
Again, you see the class of Barrera. This is easily the best fighter that Hamed has fought.
I think that shot did take a bit out of Hamed. He's really gone. First time he started to go round the ring a bit.
He was doing well in the round to that point too.
He was, yes, until he got caught with that good shot.
Last 25 seconds of the 8th. The smart money in Vegas was saying this was going to be a long fight. Last few seconds of the round. Again, the left hand. Barrera's come back in the second half of this round. And Hamed had the first half of it. Close one. Let's get an update of how Wayne McCulloch is seeing things. How are you scoring it first, Wayne?
I have Barrera ahead by about 2 points. You know, he's fighting a perfect fight. He's hitting Hamed with a straight jab, which is like the basic punch in boxing. And it's hard to hit a southpaw with a jab, and he's landing every single time. Hamed started that round pretty well, but he got caught, and Barrera finished her strong, really strong.
So how do you score that last round?
I would give it to Barrera, definitely.
On his work in the second half.
He worked the second half really well.
And that's the last thing the judges remember.
That's right, that's true. That's why most fighters fight the last 10 seconds of the round, I think, because to try and sway the judges. So it's going to be interesting if it goes to the scorecards.
Yes, it is.
There's the big right hand from Barrera. Brought that one in. There's the legs wobble. Grabs the rope. But he recovered well as the round went on.
Seconds out.
Coming up to round 9. And off we go again. Others who've tried to come up the weight and fight Naseem Hamed, including Wayne here, and Boyani Bungu, failed to defeat him, though Wayne did honourably last the distance that night. Hamed hasn't been beaten for 12 years, since Dean Piffy beat him in the junior ABAs. He was 15 then.
And still looking for the big right hand.
Good shot again from Barrera, who shows little sign of sagging, or that the effect of Hamed's punches are beginning to wear him down.
Well, we saw how the pace he can box in a 12-round fight with Morales. I don't think there's anywhere that Barrera will tire.
Speaking of Kevin Kelly, a former Naz opponent, he said it would be a cumulative effect. He said they might feel just solid punches early on, but by the 8th, it'll feel like a jackhammer hitting you. Let's see. Success with the jab for Hamed as this has gone on, but not able to do that much off the jab.
Barrera still looking for the counter punches that have served him so well in this fight.
On the back foot, surprisingly, not his game usually. Hamed starting to ram and spear through that right lead. Second-guess the judges either, would you? Not here, of all places.
Not in Las Vegas.
Been here too many times, frankly. Pseudo-illegal gestures and posing from Hamed, trying to feint to set up attack. Left hook. Back from Barrera after the left hand from Hamed. Tip for tap.
Let him out, let him out.
And this is the good fight we thought it would. Two very well matched fighters.
Hamed has clawed his way back into the argument. Oh, but he's got by another left hand. All over the place. Left himself open. And it looks so bad when that happens. It looks so very bad. And I'm sure the judges will chalk that down to Barrera.
Well, I give it to Barrera. He started the round well and then finished it with that. You can't win rounds when you get knocked about like that.
Now with one single shot, right, Mike? We're gonna concentrate more on his body, okay? We have to work that body. He's on his way down. and you know it. You already saw it, right? What are we doing here? We're going to go, watch those low blows, okay, bro?
He's looking down the barrel a bit here, you know.
Yes, he is. It's getting tough in there. Can't afford to keep getting hit like that. That eye looks a bit inflamed. The right one.
3, 4, but if you land the 5th shot, you still can knock his left. You've got to go for the knockout.
Steward, Emmanuel Steward, he thinks Hamed's behind.
Yes, he does. He thinks Barrera's getting the best of it. Look at them left hook. Almost lifted Hamed off his feet because he's off balance so much.
I've got Barrera 4 points ahead. You, Glenn?
Exactly the same, Ian. I've got it 4 points as well.
So's everybody else around here. Just checking with a few other hardened ringsiders. Round 10. Now Hamed is going for it. He's been told he needs the knockout. Can he do it? He's got a gamble, hasn't he, now?
He does. He's always found a way of pulling it out, and that's what he's got to try and do now.
He did against Kevin Kelly when he was down 3 times on his American debut. He did against Augie Sanchez when he was on the floor. The referee didn't cut it. There's another cracking Barrera's shot. Barrera must be wondering how Hamed hasn't hit the counters.
Yes, he must. He said he's going to go for a knockout all the way through this, Barrera. But he said if it's got to go the distance, he's quite happy just to do that.
There are times when Hamed has been staggering around like a Saturday night drunk. But somehow his head is cleared straight away. Tribute to his conditioning. I think they worked well for this one.
Yes, he looked in very good shape, starting to throw that straight left hand through the middle. Barrera realizes just tucking up.
It's better from Hamed. Starting to drive the shots through, big left hand, and Barrera eats it up again. Like blotting paper. He said to me, I've only ever been down 3 times in 56 fights. Don't think for one moment that I'm going to be chinny in the face of his power. Don't even think I'm going to be frightened of it.
Well, he's certainly proved that this far.
This is the crunch now for Hamed. It's come down to this in a high-class contest. The litmus test, the barometer. What does he do now?
Trying to plan defeat. He's looking for the big shots now.
If he pulls this round, he really is one of the modern greats.
Well, you've got to agree with that. If he can pull it out from here, it's a tremendous performance from Hamed.
There have been times when I thought it might happen where Barrera's made him look a bit silly.
Well, he has got that style. Somebody that can fathom that style out can do that because he does make glaring mistakes. But he also, with them mistakes, brings you onto his punches.
Oh, walked onto the left hand, Barrera. Walked through it as he did so often with Morales. Well, they're worried.
That was your round. Go on ahead. I got you. Okay? You take it to him where you're going. That was your round. Okay? You got 2 rounds. 2 rounds. Okay?
Was it his round, Glenn? What did you think?
6 minutes.
That was close. That could have went either way. It was a difficult one to score. They both had good times in it.
Yeah, because he's giving. That's the first time I saw it look like mentally I saw him give a little bit.
It was interesting what Emmanuel Steward said there. He said for the first time I saw Barrera mentally give a little bit.
I did. Just a few of the punches in the beginning of the round just seemed to affect Barrera. Just seemed to maybe start to feel the power.
Barrera, of course, is reaching out for a greatness of his own among the many high-class Mexicans at this weight, like Vicente Saldivar and Salvador Sanchez, Ruben Olivares, and now Eric Morales.
Well, this is a defining fight for Barrera as well, if he can win. People say about Hamed, and it certainly is, but it's the same for both of them. They're both great fighters at their peaks.
Hamed's going to war here now, Barrera. He'll be worried, won't he, about what happened with Morales, that he got robbed.
Most
the world thought he was robbed.
He was blatantly robbed in that fight. They took it away from him, and he'll not want to see it again.
And Hamed is the marquee fighter, remember. The money machine. Oh, look at Barrera here. 5-6 punch combination, and then he sticks his head in Hamed's face. It's getting rough in there. He's a little bit hurt, I think, Hamed. Breathing heavily. Barrera now is resorting to what we thought he'd do all the way.
But we saw against Paul Engel, where even if he's starting to tire, even if it's just slipping, he can still pull the shots out.
He's looking to walk through Hamed. Hamed here has to match this fire, otherwise he's staring at his first ever defeat. This is terrific from Barrera in this round. He's shown a real fighter's heart.
Well, I think that was never in question from Barrera. Well, he's a warrior, has been from day one when he laced on the professional gloves at 15.
Well, they've both been at this business for 20 years, man and boy, these two. Started at 7, the pair of them.
This is a big round for Barrera. It's took a bit out of Hamed, I think.
Caught Hamed out a bit as well. Up the tempo suddenly. And now he's got points in the bank in this round, Barrera. Oh, straight right hand. He's come out here as if he wants to close the argument. Oh, Hamed. Rocked back, chin in the air. Reflexes not what they were. He wouldn't have been hit like that earlier in his career.
Some of the fire, some of the spring has just gone out of Hamed's legs a bit, hasn't it?
This is a big round for Barrera. Hamed's done very little.
But he'll still be waiting, still be trying to load Barrera onto that big shot.
The strange thing has been that Barrera's got the puncher in this fight.
Definitely, that was a good round for Barrera, the biggest round so far for him.
And now there's only 3 minutes left. I've got it to Barrera by 4.
I have it to Barrera by 5. For me, Hamed needs a knockout. He's been hit far too much in this fight.
Players, the final round, touch him up.
He looks depressed, doesn't he, Hamed?
Yes, he does. He looks like it's been a hard fight. But he's still there. He's still got the chance. There's 3 minutes left. Hamed's always managed to pull it out.
You've got to bend down and go to him with short punches.
Looks tired. Well, he's had some scares along the way, but there's never been anything like this.
There hasn't. But this is a guy in Hamed with immense pride. You know, he'll still have something left. He'll still have something he wants to give.
12th round. We haven't been disappointed by this. Some of the crowd are on their feet.
Almost all of them stood up there to applaud both fighters.
They've had value here. Hamed has just got to gamble. He really has. But Barrera is starting to loosen up and looks like he wants to stop it. I don't think he trusts the judges.
I don't think he does, and after the Morales fight, he has very good right. But he's doing a number on Hamed now.
He really is. He's taken over completely. The danger for Barrera is that by being this gung-ho, he just gets caught by one sucker shot.
And this is where he needs all his brains, all his cool. But he's still finding Hamed easy to hit.
Barrera has handled the power. He's passed that test with flying colours, up to now anyway. He's taken everything Hamed can give. Another right hand. We're inside the last 2 minutes now. looking at Naseem Hamed's first ever professional defeat.
Still looking for the straight left hand, Hamed.
Give Hamed credit, he's shown amazing durability.
Oh, you've got to give him tremendous credit. He's went in with a great fighter, and he's took some good shots, and he's still in there, still trying.
Oh, Barrera exacting a bit of revenge of his own. He's got something to say to Hamed as well in that interchange. He got very bad tempered. 1 point off for Barrera. Hamed's dad is on his feet on the far side. I think he bounced Hamed's head against the ring post. That was what that was for.
Yes, he did. He turned him round and pushed him against the ring post.
But Barrera is winning the round, other than that, hands down. These amazing little Mexicans, eh, Glenn?
Oh, these are great fighters. I've been a fan of Barrera for so long. He's following the footsteps of Julio Cesar Chavez. He's showing how it's done.
He's just been found wanting technically at this level, I'm afraid, Hamed. There's no telling, though, how the judges will see it here. I cannot stress that enough in Las Vegas. We have seen so many controversies. We will get the final bell at any moment. It was terrific stuff, but for my money, Naseem Hamed has been beaten for the first time. What agony for his wife to watch that. Barrera's camp celebrate, but don't count any chickens. Not here. Not here.
Well, the crowd are cheering. Barrera's in the air. He's happy. The crowd are applauding. He looks like the man who knows he's won. And oh my God, 5 points ahead at 118-113. Big win for Barrera.
I got it by 4 points. He obviously won the last round, Barrera, but with the point off, it would have been a level round. But still, Barrera by 4 for me, by 5 for Glenn, and quickly for Wayne McCulloch.
He won the fight hands down.
I don't think they caught that, Wayne. Say it again.
Barrera won the fight hands down by 4 or 5 points. He deserves to win the fight. He fought a great fight. He boxed the head of Hamed. He deserves to be the champion.
He certainly does. Well, he reached out for greatness tonight, Naseem Hamed. And you have to be honest, as you there, he deserved the point deducted.
Oh, most definitely. That was. I think he was taking a bit of frustrations out there. That was definitely a 1 point deduction. They're the scenes in the Barrera camp. They're very happy with their man.
Well, let's hope we don't have a huge controversy here. The judges are Dwayne Ford and Chuck Giampa, two Las Vegas veterans, and Patricia Jarman Manning. Seen Giampa give some funny scorecards in the past when he had Malinga losing against Nigel Benn up in Glasgow, and everybody knew that Malinga had won it by a mile.
That's right. You can never tell. I mean, Barrera has won this fight without doubt, and it would be a travesty if the judges took it off him.
Harold Lederman, the American judge who works with HBO, our American colleagues, has it 115, 112 for Barrera. So that's in broad agreement with how we've seen it. I can't imagine any neutral would have seen Hamed as a winner there. They're talking rematches in there already. They haven't had the result yet.
Well, they're talking rematches. They think they've lost it.
It's a great performance by Barrera, and I think he surprised Hamed with his strategy. Here's Michael Buffer now with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. Dwayne Ford scores it 115 to 112. Chuck Giampa has it 116 to 111, and Patricia Jarman Manning scores it 115 to 112, all for the winner by unanimous decision, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Justice is done, no complaint from Hamed, and he couldn't have any. A shattering moment for him. His first ever defeat. His first since he was 15 years old. The Mexicans celebrate, and rightly so.
Yes, they do. If you look at the English fans, they're all clapping as well. I think they saw two great fighters, and they respect Barrera. He's a great performer. It's good to see Hamed taking it very well. That's tremendous from Naseem.
He's mellowed and matured a lot, Naseem, in recent times, and I think he will accept that he did not win that fight. There cannot be a controversy. And I'm glad, for boxing's sake, justice was done. Look at the number of punches landed. Barrera getting off it, well, not twice as many, but a lot more, threw more, better economy. Just fought a lot better, didn't he?
Yes, he did. You know, it just, you know, Hamed come up against somebody with the style that could beat him, who could put the punches together, who could, you know, catch him, not with one shot, but three. And that's what fighters have never been able to do before. And that was down to his sharpness.
The amazing thing is that Barrera was over 3-1 against with the Las Vegas bookies to win this fight, and Hamed near to 4-1 on, which I always found was winning. Let's go to the interview anyway.
You said before the fight you were going to attack. Did you know you were going to box him?
No, si yo recuerdo, I remember that when I fight I put pressure all the time. But in the gym we work, move fast all the time because Hamed is paying my steel, put pressure, a change in the fight.
He said they changed the style because they knew that he was expecting a lot of pressure, but he surprised everybody.
Was the secret to the fight for you to stay away from his powerful left hand, and how did you plan and achieve that?
El secreto de la pelea para ti era mantenerte afuera del poder de la mano zurda de él, y cómo fue que tú hiciste eso?
Bueno, lo que pasa es que él no pega tan duro como decían, pero sí. De hecho, trabajamos 6 semanas viendo videos de él para hacer un buen trabajo. Gracias a Oscar Maldonado, que fue el que siempre estuvo platicando conmigo, siempre me dijo cómo pelear. Gracias a él y a todos salió todo bien.
The main thing was he doesn't hit as hard as people think that he does. And the thing was, thanks to Oscar Maldonado, he stuck with me and made me get in great condition. And that was, you see the end result.
What was your plan to avoid his left hand and make him pay every time he missed it?
¿Cuál era el plan tú? Evitar su mano zurda y hacer que él pagara cada vez que fallara.
Exactamente, porque él en todos sus videos vi que él contrarrestaba y donde noqueaba era cuando los agarraba entrando, entonces le cambiamos que él entrara para yo poder meter mis golpes.
Yeah. I've always seen him be a counter puncher, and when you charge him and you miss, and he will counter punch you. This time we tricked him.
Do you think that, were you ever hurt in the fight at all?
¿Estabas lastimado en alguna vez?
No, en ningún momento. Hicimos una muy buena preparación. Espero que ahora la gente sí crea en mí.
Yeah. No, not at all. I was never hurt. And I wish that people now would believe in me.
There were a couple of times when he seemed dazed. Why couldn't you finish him off? Did you not want to take any risks that weren't necessary?
Habían varias veces que él estaba un poco lastimado, estaba un poco mareado. ¿Por qué fue que tú no lo terminaste?
Porque eso era cuando él noqueaba. Si te das cuenta en sus videos, cuando él está noqueado, todo el mundo se avienta pensando que ya está, pero no, se recupera y regresa rápido.
That's precisely why we didn't charge him and get careless, because he does knock you out when he's kind of daisy like that, and we didn't want to take that chance.
How do you see this as a victory, both for you and for your country, where there are so many outstanding fighters like yourself?
¿Cómo tú ves esta victoria también como tú, para tu país, donde hay tantos grandes peleadores?
Bueno, la verdad está muy feliz. Quiero mandar un saludo a todo México que vio esa pelea. Dar las gracias a toda mi gente y dar las gracias al señor Ricardo Maldonado, porque ganando, él me regala un Mercedes-Benz. Ahí está.
Yeah, I want to say hello to everybody in Mexico, and I'm grateful to everybody. And I want to thank especially Ricardo Maldonado, because he promised me a Mercedes if I won, and I got one.
What's next? Do you want the rematch with Eric Morales?
¿Cuál es lo próximo? ¿Con quién quiere pelear? ¿La revancha con Morales?
No sé, la verdad, vamos a tomar un descanso. Trabajamos muy duro, vamos a pensar qué sigue. Voy a hablar con el señor Ricardo Maldonado a ver si subo de peso. Digo, si me quedo en 26 o bajo a las 22.
Yeah, we don't know yet. We're going to see. I'm going to talk to Maldonado. We're going to take a long rest, and we're going to see. Am I going to stay at a 26-pound or go back down to 122?
Thank you very much for a terrific fight, champ.
Al contrario, quiero darle a usted las gracias porque siempre ha sido un buen comentarista. Espero le haya gustado la pelea.
He wants to thank you especially because you're a wonderful interviewer, and I hope you like the fight.
Viva México.
Thank you very much.
Viva México.
How sweet can that be? A year ago, the judges denied him victory against Morales. Tonight, history for Barrera. He justifies himself in the Mexican tradition. Barry McGuigan, how did you see it?
I gave it 2 rounds to Barrera, but I thought he won it comprehensively. He boxed brilliantly. He was never phased. He looked the stronger punch of the two. He was never shaken at any stage. Nas looked completely at 6s and 7s on several occasions throughout the fight. He never got his plan together. He was never able to bully.
Let's hear from Naseem, Barry.
And all the other fights he fought.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's as I've told you before, Larry, but the answer you give me is you can't interview Allah. The fact is, my faith is still there to the maximum. If that's the way it's written for a man to go, that's the way it's written from Allah. I'm happy, I'm still confident. The fact is, he couldn't drop me, he couldn't knock me out, and I'm going out at this ring like a champion still. At the end of the day, I give him all congratulations and all the best of this, all the success in the world to him in the future. And what can I say? I only have to get straight back in the gym and get back again like champions do. Come back and fight again. It's written from Allah for that to happen, and I accept what is written. That's all I can say.
Was the delay coming into the fight, do you think it had any effect on you?
No. No delay made no effect. The fact is, I got in, the guy boxed probably better than me tonight, and that's it.
Did he surprise you by the fact that he didn't charge you and that he did box you and make you be more aggressive?
I knew he weren't going to charge me. He would have definitely got knocked out if he'd have charged me. But the fact is, he's the pure winner tonight. I congratulate him. And that's it. He didn't plan them tactics. He planned to box. And his boxing skills paid off.
Why couldn't you land your big left hand more often and more convincingly?
I don't. He seemed to have quite a few things covered there. And basically, every time I threw it, I wasn't really too comfortable with throwing it often. But when I did, it connected sometimes. But, you know, that's just the way it goes.
How does this affect your career, your self-image as the greatest, as a guy who is going to retire undefeated?
Muhammad Rasulullah is Muhammad Rasulullah, and Allah is the greatest, you know. Muhammad Rasulullah is the final messenger, and basically, I'm just so happy that 12 rounds was made tonight in no problem at all. I trained hard for the fight.
How is it going to affect your career, do you think?
How can it affect me? Fighters get beat. He's been knocked out. He's been beat twice. This is my first time. I'll come back and beat him. I ain't got a problem.
Are you saying you want a rematch?
Am I saying I want a rematch? The fact is, I've got a rematch clause in my contract. I'm getting a rematch.
When do you want to fight him again?
It's not that I want one. I'm getting one. When do I want to fight again? I don't know, maybe at the end of the year. I mean, I'm going to get back in. I'm going to have a nice, comfortable time with my wife and my kids. Trust me, this is the way I feel at this moment in time. I'm happy that I've done 12 rounds and come out safe. Allah has let me nice and safe, and I've come out well. The fact is, I've lost the fight. I accept the loss. And I accept it written from me, from Allah. That's the way a real fighter and a real man and a real champion goes out. But I will return.
Thank you very much, Prince.
That's why you see a smile on my face.
Jim?
He's made it clear enough for us. Jim, as we wait for Ian Dark to try to fight his way through the melee, I think he's actually going to talk to him. Jim, if you just hold what you were going to say.
Well, there's many commiserations. No argument, obviously, with the decision.
No argument, no. The guy boxed well. He boxed as best as he could, which paid off. He used his boxing skills. And as I've just said to HBO, probably you've taped it all.
We just used it, in fact, so we'll keep on with the conversation. I mean, how much of a disappointment is this, or can't you take it in at the moment?
No, I've took it in. I've took it in no problem. The fact is, great fighters get beat. Great fighters come back. Great fighters beat other great fighters when they come back. And the fact is, I'll be back.
You definitely want to fight on. You're quite clear about that, are you? Because, I mean, you've made so much money out of this business and been such a success.
At this moment in time, it's not really about money in my eyes at all. The fact is, it was a great fight. I want to thank all the British that came, because there was so many. I was so happy to see him and to hear him. It was brilliant. I'm just so happy that it went 12 rounds, and I did plan a knockout. I planned a knockout, and maybe I tried a little bit too hard. That's all it is. I mean, as I said to HBO, great fighters win and great fighters lose. I'll accept the loss from Allah. I accept that it's written for me, and I'll be back. I'll be back, and I'll beat him.
Did it surprise you that he was able to take your power tonight, because you've demolished just about everybody else, barring McCulloch and Soto?
For me, I didn't really hit him the way I wanted to hit him. He didn't.
Why was that, do you think?
Simply because he boxed a good fight. He did his homework, and I don't know. For me, I knew he weren't going to charge. I knew he weren't going to come in with them rushing tactics, but that's just the way it goes. The fact is, I'm like, in my eyes, I've lost on points, and that's exactly what's happened. I've lost to another great champion. He's already beat twice. He's been beat twice, and he'll get beat again. I'll be back. I'm a great fighter. I've before this fight, it's 35-0, and I beat everybody, and I've knocked everybody out. So I'll be back.
And definitely at this weight, featherweight, still comfortable at that, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
And what about Eric Morales? Now that could be a route back, couldn't it, to go for the WBC crown?
No, I want him.
You want Barrera again?
I want him. I know I can beat him.
And you're convinced it will be different next time?
100%. 100%. I'm planning to knock him out. The fact that I didn't knock him out this time is just the way it is. Written for me to lose this fight. For some reason or other, hopefully I'll get to find out. It's from Allah, and I'm happy, and I'm a Muslim, and I was going to dedicate, and I still dedicate the fight to every single Muslim on the planet. At the end of the day, I've come to Vegas, and I've still done my stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm coming out of the ring, 12 rounds, I didn't get knocked out, I didn't get knocked down.
You've taken it fantastically well, I must say, and well done for that.
Everybody wanted to see what was going to happen if I ever lost. Now it's happened. I'm fine. I accept the loss from God. I wish the kid all the best in the success in the world to him in his career. And I'm going to get back in the gym. I'm a great fighter. I'm a man. This is how a man and a great fighter takes it.
Great reaction. Thanks a lot, Naz. Let's bring Barry Hearn in here amid all the chaos in the ring. Barry, it's a bit of a stunner, isn't it, to be quite honest?
It is a stunner, I have to say, Darky. We knew Barrera wasn't stupid. He wasn't just going to come out and charge in his old Mexican style, and I thought he boxed a super fight. I thought he outthought Hamid, he outthought his tactics, and he was really ready for this fight. All credit to Barrera. I think he surprised a lot of people, including me.
Yeah, I mean, we were wondering all week, and I was thinking this. He kept saying, I'm going to pressure him. He knew in his mind he was going to try and counter-punch him, and he did that brilliantly until the last 2 rounds and took over.
Well, he did, and once he saw the winning light, like all great champions, he went through it, not up to it. No, he was a very worthy winner and a clear winner in my book, and I think Naz now has to go back and regroup, replan, think strategy, think about it. Don't just go over, because he hit Barrera with some very solid punches, and Barrera, his chin stood firm.
All right, thanks a lot, Barry.
Cheers.
Barry Hearn has just started to lay out some of the lessons of the night for Naseem Hamed, don't you think? When we come back, the thoughts of Jim and Nicky to go along with Barry McGuigan. Barrera has it all tonight, though. He has stepped up to featherweight. He has beaten the man who was the top featherweight for 5 years, and he's written himself into boxing history. Beaten for the first time, and Marco Antonio Barrera is vindicated tonight with a unanimous points win. No question, this is a famous victory for Barrera and an infamous defeat for Naseem. There'll be many questions. To start the inquest, Emmanuel Steward from the Naseem camp is with Ian Dark.
Emmanuel, were you surprised about the way that fight developed strategically? Because I think Barrera was cute there, wasn't he?
Well, I always said it was going to be a very tough fight, and at one point I was so excited about Barrera's performance in his previous fight that it looked like I was picking him to even beat Naz. He was a fundamentally sound fighter, very well prepared, and he took advantage of Naz's head up in air style of fighting. And after Naz would shoot punches and finish punching, he would come back with punches, and Naz was not in good position.
He made Hamed look a bit silly at times, to be honest, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought this was a great night for Barrera. I think he fought a great fight. I told him so. I believe a rematch would be different. I think Naz has certain things he must do, and I think he will do them.
He talks about being a modern great. Do you think there is a path back after that?
I believe that all fighters can lose a fight. And in this case, sure, I expect him to turn it around into a positive situation. He was very realistic about the fight. And I was disappointed, but he's handled himself professionally. And we will have a meeting right now to go over what he did wrong.
What specifically do you think? What was the main thing he did wrong?
I think fundamentally he was not fighting a sound fight. Balance and position. His punches was long arm punches, unlike what we had told him. He had to punch short, compact punches. And after you miss a punch, you either land a punch, you must be able to expect a counter back from Barrera. And that didn't happen. But Barrera fought a very, very good fight, though.
And there was no doubt about it. He was the winner, wasn't he?
He was definitely a winner. I think with my scorecard, may have only won 1 or 2, 3 rounds. But it was a good night for Barrera.
Thanks a lot, Emmanuel.
Okay.
They're only covering themselves in glory by the way they're taking defeat, the Naseem Hamed camp. But Jim, we interrupted you just as you were about to give us your overall impression.
Oh, well, I didn't dream, first of all, that Barrera was capable of 12 rounds of quality boxing like that. I thought he was an aggressive little slugger, top quality slugger. I didn't believe he could have a basic change in his style at the age of 27, but his tactics were perfect. Hamed has always had a disjointed style, but his power has always got him out of trouble. But Barrera took away his power just with the tactics. He didn't give him any target whatsoever during the 12 rounds. And full credit to Naz. He's gone out, but he's gone out like a champion, didn't make any excuses. He says he'll be back, and I believe him. That's why boxing's so good, Nicky. You never know. And Barrera, has he surprised you tonight?
Yeah, he did. As Jim said, he boxed a fantastic fight. He was perfect with his tactics. But I think Naseem was tactically exposed tonight. He's had, for so many years, being able to knock boys about and use his power and intimidation. He just didn't work tonight. And you know, he will come back. He's got the return fight in the contract. And you know, I mean, yes, that's an interesting if you look back to Sugar Ray Leonard when he boxed Duran the first time, you know, a youngster was tactically exposed, learned a lot from the fight, came back and won the return easily.
But this guy's a different character than Duran. Duran blew up 2 or 3 stone between fights. Barrera doesn't do that.
I don't believe Barrera can improve on this performance, whereas I think Naseem can improve.
That's a good point, but the fact is, this guy boxed candidly, he boxed sensibly, he won comprehensively, and there's no reason to believe that he can't win again.
Barry, the way Barrera went about his task tonight, did it demonstrate the fighter who had more on his CV, more experience, more in the background?
Well, this is an important point, Paul. Hamed walked out there believing he could knock the guy out with the first punch he threw. And it wasn't like that. Barrera jumped in right at the beginning and took control of the fight. He says, I'm going to take control of this fight and I'm going to be in charge right from the off. He was able to draw Naz into him. He was able to take his sting away. He was the one that was hurting him. In the first round, he really wobbled him, shook him right to the floor, and he just carried on from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch it though, but Naseem is just not working hard enough. He's being lunged, he's been made to miss, his balance is not so good, and as Emmanuel Steward said, every time Naz throws a punch, Barrera comes back with him and catches him, and he's just being made to feel awkward.
Jim, we talked earlier tonight about, and it was a comment made by Richie Wenton, Barrera is a master of dictating pace of a fight. He took the pace down in this fight, didn't he?
Well, that's what he did. Well, he's shocked at Hamed. Hamed would not have dreamed these tactics. But what we have to remember here, for the first time, the one criticism of Hamed, he's dominated a weak division. He's moved into the Premier League tonight for the first time. Everybody knew this was his toughest match, and he's been found a little bit wanting. I'm sure he can come back from this, maybe produce a better display. He wouldn't be surprised and shocked the way he was tonight, but this is the Premier League he's in now. OK, Jim, and when you get into this Premier League, is your inference that you just have to have the ability to change strategy? It's something you often talk about when we watch fights. Well, you can't depend simply on power. Naz has done that so often, depending on his power. He boxed badly against Kelly, boxed badly against Augie Sanchez, boxed badly several times, but the power he has turned the fight around with one punch. Just that didn't work tonight. Barrera was too good for that. Barrera took his power away from him with his tactics. And
a point I wanted to make, Jim, you're right. He accepted the fact that he was going to be cooler and more magnanimous and what have you. However, he went into the fight believing in his head that the first time he hit Barrera, right through the fight, Manny Stewart was equally to blame. He says, as soon as you hit him, he's going to go all the way through. We could hear that.
Barry, we thought the same thing, Barry.
No, we know.
We all said as soon as he catches Barrera,
we always
he's going to
believed
stop
he had the power, but it was the way he dealt his power out. He didn't think of anything else, only one punch.
Did you see it changing maybe in the 7th round that Naseem might actually, even on this night, turn it around?
The 7th round was Naz's best round. I saw at this stage, suddenly he's going to break through and take control of the fight. He had to. They were telling him in the corner, you've got to take the fight to Barrera, you've got to take control of him, you've got to throw more than one punch. And Emmanuel Steward was saying that to him. You've got to throw more than one punch and stop putting them together instead of just going whack, whack from a long distance, put them together.
It didn't happen like that, Nicky, and Naseem, if anything, in the 8th round again, fell off the pace as Barrera came on so strong.
Yes, he did. I mean, and we actually in the studio here had it closer on the scorecards than the judges, and yet we all believed that Barrera won the fight clearly. And Naz was winning a few rounds, but he was just about winning them, whereas Barrera was winning his rounds cleanly.
But look at these punches, Nicky.
Exactly.
Every time Barrera won a round, he won it with impressive.
He never lost
Hammett to the floor.
Even the few times when he hurt Naz, he didn't.
That's a very important point.
He just took his time and said, right, okay, things are going well, I'll leave it, don't do anything silly, don't take any chances. Even at this stage, you can see he's not stepping up to the plate, he's taking his time, he's landed a couple of punches. But I think that was his whole plan. Do not do anything silly. One mistake, and this fella can finish it off.
Well, that was the end of the ninth round.
He didn't make one mistake.
It was from a distance. He said, I'm going to pick my punches, I'm going to walk him down, I'm going to make sure not to pot shot from far out, I'm going to throw my punches carefully from close up.
This is championship boxing, and it comes down, as you say so often, to the championship rounds, and Barrera still had it to do, to be sure, tonight, didn't he, in the last couple?
Yeah, and, you know, obviously there's real panic in the Naz corner, but this is where he showed his championship's class and skill here. He held it together, Barrera. He was being pressurised, but he picked his punches and he backed up all his work. And he was the one who finished strong.
But Naz was tired, he just wasn't working. He had to work and he was just so tired he didn't do it. I mean, Manny Stewart in the corner must have been going crazy here because, you know, Naz had to work and just wasn't.
Well, let's remember too, Barry, a knockout to win.
By Barrera's standards in previous fights, this is a lazy night for him.
Yes.
This was a half-paced fight for Barrera. There's more thinking tonight than there was punching, and that's what won him the fight.
Jim, you've been critical many times of the way Naseem has not been able to knock out the rounds at, again, Premier League level.
He can't sustain the work. Naz, he's always been disjointed. I always felt Chris Eubank was a little bit similar. We just saw the point deduction incident there. I didn't realise when we saw it live how bad it was, but he definitely deserved to have a point deduction.
It was fairly malicious that he deliberately tried to hurt him against the corner. But he was in control in every department. He even bullied Naz up close. He done what he wanted with him. He never allowed Naz to either take him out of his groove at any stage.
OK, let's get back to ringside and get a final thought on what they saw from Glenn and Ian.
Well, the interesting little bit of post-fight news here is that revelation that there is a rematch clause. But is that a wise idea for Hammett to fight Barrera again, or does he get knocked out next time?
Well, I mean, that could happen. But, I mean, Hammett will want to, you know, his pride will want to say, you know, he still stood up to the punches of Barrera. He'll still think there's a chance that he can beat him. But I always thought that Barrera was technically the better fighter. If you remember Kevin Kelly...
You were right as well, and you tipped right the way through. Got to give you credit.
But if you remember Kevin Kelly, he was same, very technical, and he took Hammett apart until he took chances and then played his game. Barrera never took the chance, he kept at it, and he did a good job.
I think the boys in the studio hit the nail on the head a bit. I think all the eggs were in the power basket for Hammett. There was no plan B.
Well, you know, that's always got him out of trouble, so that's why it's always been there. But you've got to have other things. And when you go in, you know, Hammett wasn't beaten by just an ordinary fighter. He was beaten by a great fighter in Barrera.
I think they've tried to tinker with Hammett's style since he left Brendan Ingle, the Oscar Suarez, Emmanuel Steward thing. And one of the results of that is he's setting his feet more and he's much easier to hit. Much easier.
Well, he is. He sets his feet harder, and he also gets, you know, he also hits harder as well because of that. So you can't get one without the other.
Yeah, but he hit hard enough before.
I just think Barrera, you know, had the style, very technical and very, very good.
It was a brilliant performance, I thought, by Barrera. He well deserved it for Hammett. Greatness, I'm afraid, is on hold. Back to you, Paul.
Ian, Glenn, thank you very much indeed. One man to congratulate before we go tonight. It's Tom McInnes from St Andrews in Scotland, the winner of our competition. Barrera on points. You were brave enough to predict it, Tom. And Naseem Hammed's gloves, they're white, incidentally. They weren't involved in the controversy tonight, but they are on their way to you. So well done to you for that. And don't forget, we've got more championship boxing coming up next Tuesday night. Howard Eastman is in action against Robert McCracken. British, Commonwealth and European middleweight titles. Sky Sports 1 Tuesday night at 8. And we're really looking forward to that one as well. But a final word about what we've seen tonight. And I want to go back to where we started, in a sense, at only 4 o'clock this morning, when you said this is all bad when Naseem Hamed takes so long to leave his dressing room.
As I looked at him in the dressing room, there was no mischief in his eyes. It was as though something was troubling him in there. He wasn't happy with the gloves. He wasn't playing the fool. He wasn't messing Barrera about. You could see in his face something was troubling him.
And was that the realisation that now it is Premier League time?
I don't know, but I don't know if we can take it as deeply as that. I think it's... He was beaten by a top-class fighter tonight, top-class fighter, and there's no. He didn't make any excuses, which I think gives him a bit of style. He was beaten by a better man tonight, so we'll see if he has a return clause. We'll see if he can do better next time up.
And Barry, just a final word from you on what we've seen.
That tactic might have worked, Jim, had the guy have been fazed by it, but Barrera wasn't fazed with it. Barrera was focused. He had an intention of how to box Hamed. He carried it out to a T, and he was brilliant, and he deserves it. And I have to say that Hamed was magnanimous in defeat, and it won't have had that much of an effect on him. But let's wait and see how he comes back.
Barry, Nicky, Jim, thank you as always. Thank you most of all for being with us. It's a brilliant night for Barrera, no question. Naseem went to Las Vegas to find out the truth about himself, but the truth can be painful. From us all, bye for now.
I visualise a great fight. I visualise him coming forward and him taking an unbelievable shot. I'm ready now. It's time to fight. I've come down to check the entrance, make sure that I'm comfortable and happy with it, make sure it's like superb and perfect to the way I want it. So when I come out, I look the bomb. I think after this fight, 100%, they're going to be seeing me as one of the best featherweights that ever lived.
There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you'll never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. No. Today, tales of war and waste, but you turn right over to the.
Starting with another left hook, he drops again.
Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come.
Oh, and he's come by another left.
We know.
Terrific start, but for my money, Naseem Hamed has been beaten.
For the winner by unanimous decision, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Justice is done, no complaint from Hamed.
proud. We expecting
first loss. You got beaten. That was that.
This is the sport, isn't it?
Yeah.
The name of the game.
You know
exactly.
That's
it.
Now it comes back.
Exactly.
Better than
Hey,
ever.
like you came back.
Yeah, man. Everybody goes through this. Man.
Everybody comes back. Everybody.
comes back.
And that's what's
It
a
makes
great
it better.
championship.
It makes it better.
Exactly.
It makes it better.
Exactly.
Tell them that, man.
Let's hope England likes him a bit more now he's lost.
I'm still proud, 100% proud of our Nazar.
We'll make that little Mexican come to Sheffield now. We'll make that little Mexican come to England and pay him another million. Yeah, I mean that Taco Bell here.
The kid will be back, just like what Lennox says. Lennox says that the great champions are the ones that come back, and I'm proud of my champion. I'm proud of Naseem 100%. He tried his best today, and I have to give him an A+ still because he tried his best. So hey, like he said, we go back to the gym. Inshallah, I've got willing, and we're gonna get better. You see, and. Next time, you'll see the difference.
Nothing on the bones hurts, right?
Nah, I ain't got nothing that hurts me whatsoever.
When you get enough water in, I
most definitely will.
Lennox wants to come over and see you, yeah?
Yeah, bring him in. All right. Don't clench my hand too hard. All right,
is it hurting?
Only this little bit, right?
You want me
here.
to x-ray it or no?
No.
Okay, bud. The other one's good?
Yeah. Well, Jez, that's just the way it goes, my man. I tried so hard to knock him out. It's not that I relied on that power, it's just that I wanted to knock him out so bad. I trained so hard. And it didn't happen. I suppose that's just the way it's written. I'm not nowhere near as sad as I thought I would be. Simply because the kid won the fight, and if that's what's written for me from Allah, it's written. I give him the fight, basically. Not that I give him, he won the fight. He won the fight clearly, in my eyes. I didn't box to my best ability. I would honestly say that credit is due to him, and I feel that I'll be back. What can I say?